All right, another episode on November 26, 2020. Another older article that has surfaced. It's actually interesting. This one surfaced a day early on Forbes. A day earlier, rather, that is, than it surfaced on the World Economic Forum's own website. I thought was kind of interesting. I wonder what that means with Forbes. Must be a big contender with the WEF. It's probably not a secret. Probably could find it if you went through their website. At any rate, it's written by Ida Auken, who is a Danish socialist. She's part of a party, although it claims to be centrist. I don't know what politics are exactly like in Denmark that they are centrist, but the translation of her party literally means radical left. Fucking funny. Anyway, this is something that she wrote 4 years ago. It's gotten a little bit of circulation lately. I just seen it over on George Gammon's Rebel Capitalist, and I'd seen it earlier today too, so I thought, well, whatever, I might as well do it too. What the hell, right? For those of you who haven't seen this yet, it's kind of a dystopian sounding article. She has a disclaimer. Some people have read this blog as my utopia or dream of the future. It is not. It is a scenario showing where we could be heading for better and for worse. I wrote this piece to start a discussion about some of the pros and cons of the current technological development. When we are dealing with the future, it is not enough to work with reports. We should start discussions in many new ways. This is the intention with this piece. So let's read on to this little number. Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say our city. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes. It might seem odd to you, but it makes perfect sense for us in this city. Everything you considered a product has now become a service. We have access to transportation, accommodation, food, and all the things we need in our daily lives. One by one, all these things became free, so it ended up not making sense for us to own much. First, communication became digitized and free to everyone. Then when clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could call a driverless vehicle or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. We started transporting ourselves in a much more organized and coordinated way when public transport became easier, quicker, and more convenient than the car. But if you want to go on a Sunday drive, fuck you. You don't get to do that. Now I can hardly believe that we accepted congestion and traffic jams, not to mention the air pollution from combustion engines. What were we thinking? Sometimes when I use my bike when I go to see some of my friends, I enjoy the exercise and the ride. It kind of gets the soul to come along on the journey. Funny how some things seem to never lose their excitement. Walking, biking, cooking, drawing, and growing plants. It makes perfect sense and reminds us how our culture emerged out of a close relationship with nature. Of course, a lot of cities have been adding bike trails all over the place to encourage people to ride bikes. So, I mean, whatever. Cool. I don't care if you want to ride a bike ever. Environmental problems seem far away. In our city, we don't pay any rent because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. It just sounds more like, if you've ever been to an auction mart, when they are moving all the cattle around, they move them from pen to pen to keep them all organized and straightened out as they sale them and move them throughout the day. I don't like the way this sounds. Of course, she's saying this is just a suggestion of what it could be like to open up the discussion. Is this good or bad? Well, would you want to live like that? Gosh almighty. My living room is used for business meetings when I am not there. Ugh. Stay the fuck out of my living room. I don't want you in my living room ever. Once in a while, I will choose to cook for myself. It is easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered at my door within minutes. Because we don't want you to own a bunch of stuff. You just get government stuff if you're on the approval list, would ultimately be how that would look like if this did come to fruition, which I'm sure it won't. No way people will go for this stupid shit. Anyway, since transport became free, we stopped having all those things stuffed into our home. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed into our cupboards when we can just order them when we need them? Because you've always got it in your cupboards for when you need it or want it or choose to use it, you know, like free people would. Instead, you have to make crepes by thinking about it in advance and ordering the stuff to get it and however long that would take. And then by the time you got the shit to make them, maybe you fucking don't want crepes anymore. Anyway, this also made the breakthrough of circular economy easier. When products are turned into services, no one has an interest in things with a short lifespan. Everything is designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. The materials are flowing more quickly in our economy and can be transformed to new products pretty easily. Environmental problems seem far away since we can use clean energy and clean production methods. The air is clean, the water is clean, and nobody would dare touch the protected areas of nature because they constitute such value to our well-being. This is kind of like the 2020, 2030, 2021, whatever agenda. It's all kind of the same. About they want you in smart cities, and they want untouched areas, and they want farming areas that I would suggest only the corporate farming industry looks after, and you don't get to go there. Anyway. In the cities, we will have plenty of green space and plants and trees all over. I do not understand why in the past we filled all free spots in this city with concrete. I don't know, did we? I don't think that everywhere's like that. I don't know, maybe government's always been fucking stooges. It's not the people that design the city, it's the government. This is just more government from a politician who works for the Danish political party known as Radical Left. You know, the funny thing about this is the materials are flowing more quickly, everything's designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. That was the original model of everything. Washing machines, batteries used to last longer, even your NiCads used to last longer. Did you know that? That's where some of planned obsolescence that the assholes that are telling us to change our lives now switched on us. We don't sell enough batteries. Make them last less. We don't sell enough washing machines. Make them last not as long. You know, it's all this micromanaging of everything, and now, oh yeah, let's just come up with some fun idea to fix it all that sounds really awesome. The death of shopping. I can't really remember what that is. For most of us, it has been turned into choosing things to use. Sometimes I find this fun, and sometimes I just want the algorithm to do it for me. It knows my taste better than I do by now. Yeah, you don't know what the hell to wear. Just let the computer figure it out for you. I'd love to see the days when hackers mess with that and just dress you up like a complete stooge. Anyway, when AI and robots took over so much of our work, we suddenly had time to eat well, sleep well, and spend time with other people. The concept of rush hour makes no sense anymore, since the work that we do can be done at any time. I don't really know if I would call it work anymore. It is more like thinking time, creation time, and development time. The time when you come up with ideas for your overlords on how to fucking make their lives better, and yours may be moderately better. You're going to be struggling. It sounds like fun. Anyway, for a while everything was turned into entertainment and people did not want to bother themselves with difficult issues. It was only at the last minute that we found out how to use all these new technologies for better purposes than just killing time. Okay, so basically just work is fun and we just work, and then, you know, when we get home, hopefully the fucking office meeting in our living room is done so that we can chill out and maybe do our own thing. Oh yeah, sweet. They live different kinds of lives outside of the city. This is like what I've been referring to when I talk about this kind of stuff to my friends and family, that it's like District 9, if you've ever seen that movie, where the internal city is kind of, you know, it's a bit ratty, but it's also where all the tech and development is, and You know, all the well-to-dos, and then everyone who lives outside of the fence, they're the ones outside of the city. And it becomes like modern sort of shanty towns because you don't get to have things like oil and gas anymore to fucking heat your house and power your stuff. So you live in all these houses that are basically just structures, and you set fires and do whatever you can to try to stay warm and cook with and stuff. Anyway, that's what reminds me of. Anyway, so my biggest concern is all the people who do not live in our city. Those we lost on the way, those who decided that it became too much, all this technology, all those stupid old boomers, those who felt obsolete and useless when robots and AI took over big parts of our jobs. Oh, you oil bums were just destroying the planet anyway, you filthy rig pigs. Those who got upset with the political system and turned against it. The rebels were left outside. They weren't allowed in the new city because they were probably anti-LGBTQ as well. They lived different kinds of lives outside of the city. Some have formed little self-supplying communities. Others just stayed in the empty and abandoned houses in small 19th century villages. Once in a while I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy. Nowhere I can go and not be registered. I know that somewhere everything I do, think and dream of is recorded. I just hope that nobody will use it against me. Of course, these are the negative thoughts they want you to think about. And is it really all that bad if it keeps you safe? What if someone tried to harm you? Wouldn't you want someone to stop it right away? And that brings me to another thing, actually. These bio-wristwatch things that I seen they're maybe trying to come out with. And a horrible suggestion was made that they already measure your heart rate for like when you're exercising and all that jazz. Now you turn that into a permanent, I can use it to pay for things, get in and out of buildings, etc., etc. That becomes your chip. They don't have to inject it in your hand. You just wear it on your fucking wrist like a watch and people would love it. Great, great, great. Smartwatch. Smartwatch! Do you have YouTubes? I know some people are smart enough to have ad blocker. I don't have it. I used to have it, and then I didn't trust it after it had been out for so long. I was scared of viruses. But I mean, it's always that smartwatch commercial where Buddy and his kids are just, woo, smartwatch! They've been airing that commercial for like years now, it feels like. Ah, boy. So, yeah. Well, I'm sure I had other thoughts about that. I'm starting to brain fart. Anyway, move along. All in all, it's a good life, much better than the path we are on, where it became so clear that we could not continue with the same model of growth. See the trade-off. It doesn't matter you're getting spied on. All in all, it's better. So it doesn't matter you get spied on, business meetings happen in your living room, and that your work is all going to be technology, building new tech, as tech is expected to exponentially keep growing as they say it does. I expect it'll hit a climactic point where it'll flatline and you won't be able to develop anything for a long time until someone comes up with a completely new idea on how to do things. But that's just my thoughts, I guess. But we had all these terrible things happening. Lifestyle diseases. What's a lifestyle disease? Climate change, the refugee crisis. Well, you wouldn't have the refugee crisis if the countries that the UN wants bombed weren't sending refugees all over the place. Environmental degradation, completely congested cities. Environmental degradation, I mean, if we're going to talk about what we were talking about in the other video where their means of feeding everybody involves poisoning the earth with glyphosate, then that's on them too. Completely congested cities, water pollution, air pollution, social unrest, and unemployment. We lost too many people before we realized we could do things differently. And yet, how many of these people who are social unrest and unemployment, they're going to be in social unrest and unemployment because all these tech geeks that they talk about up here are going to get the jobs. And these people are going to be the people that are living outside of the fucking city. I would love to be in a meeting with this chick and just see what she has to say about all this. Oh, well, it was only open for discussion, you know. I just wanted to see what people would think. Well, that's what I fucking think, you dumb bitch. Anyway, yeah, I had way too much fun with that. I hope you had fun with that, despite its craziness. Maybe I'm laughing because it is just so dumb. Like, good luck. You inner city idiots think that you know everything. Go ahead, live in your smart city. I don't care. I know how to fucking run a well. I will pump my own damn oil. I will find a way to refine my own gas. How does that sound? Of course, they'd probably, if they ever had their way, by the time it got that bad, just send some kind of drone police after you to, like, snip your head off or something, like a robot insect that just snips your head off. Fun dystopia shit. And then we can, like, try to shoot it down with, like, a hunting rifle. Anyway, there we go. There's another video. I think I am going to do one more tonight, actually. The Ghost of Comments Past. He's a smart motherfucker. I like having that guy around. He brought up, or identified a group that was out a while back that we're going to get into, called, was it the Good Guy Club or some shit like that? Whatever, I've got the article. We're going to get into that anyway and talk about that a little bit, because that's a lot of premonition that was in the news years ago that we're seeing come to fruition now with Billanthropy. We're going to talk about some Billanthropy. Alright, so I'll get out of here now. Ramble. Alright, peace out.